Hi, my name is Tom Preston, and I'm from North Bay, Ontario, Canada. And I would like to share the miracle story of Tegan. Tegan was a little girl who I adjusted and looked after the whole family. And I was at the home one day, and Tegan was not doing very well from a health standpoint. She was an extremely sick little girl. She had literally a lot of congestion in her chest and her lungs, and her heart rate was like 165, 170 beats per minute. She had respirations of like 60 to 70 respirations with indrawing. She had bilateral lobar pneumonia, and she was a really sick little girl. And we called her medical doctor to come over to the house. And the medical doctor came over to the house, and he said, you know, this little girl needs to be in a hospital. She needs to be in ICU. She needs to be on steroids. She needs to be on oxygen. She needs to, you know, she's a sick little girl. And I said, well, wait, Doc, why don't we just talk about this for a minute? Because, you know, isn't one of the important things her vital signs being stable? And he goes, well, yeah. And I said, well, then her vital signs are stable and we're monitoring. And then I said, and the other thing too is that she's not acting as much like a sick little girl as I would expect. And he goes, well, yeah, you're right. She's not, you know, listless. And I said, well, look, we can have her to hospital in 3 or 4 minutes. So, you know, we don't want to, you know, we're not going to play with fire here and risk her death. But I think this little girl has an innate intelligence inside of her. And if that innate intelligence can express itself, it has the ability to heal any disease known to man, including, you know, what's going on here. So what I'm going to do is work at keeping her connected to her innate intelligence and allow her body to heal itself from the inside out. And he says, you're an idiot. You're killing this child. And I don't want any part of it any left. Now, what heightened the intensity of that part is that medical doctor was also my brother. And so we had a lot of sibling stuff going on there and bringing into that story, and it really sort of brought it out. So what I chose to do is I chose to check that little girl and check her to see if she was connected to her innate intelligence every hour on the hour for 25 hours. And of those 25 hours, I stayed up around the clock with her. I adjusted her 22 of those 25 times. She was subluxated. Her innate intelligence was not connecting through her nervous system to her body. She wasn't able to heal. But doing that over 25 hours, that little girl with bilateral lobar pneumonia, indrawing respirations, 70 respirations a minute, 160, 170 heart rates per minute, looked at her daddy, because that little girl was my daughter. And she looked at her daddy and said, "Daddy, can I go back to school?" And I tell you, that experience changed my life, and it changed her life. And I'll tell you something, as a chiropractor, I couldn't go back to the office on Monday and talk about back pain anymore. I had to be able to tell people the true chiropractic story about what's possible inside of them if they can stay connected to the infinite intelligence that runs through them. And Tegan now is 15 years old, and she's all full of piss and vinegar that 15-year-olds are, and she's an amazing little girl, but she taught me a great lesson about the possibility that exists within human beings if we can just keep what's inside of them connected and allow it to express itself in all of its purity. So thanks for letting me share that story. It's meaningful to me.